Hey there, welcome back. Today we're going to look at some advanced accordion card blanks, and these are all on my Silhouette store. And this is kind of a continuation of the basic accordion card blanks that we did last time. This time we're going to look at some really fun ones like the boxed accordion, the diamond fold accordion. Wait till you see it in real life. The interlocking accordion, the panel insert accordion, and the stepped fold accordion. Gorgeous, huh? All these digital cutting files are available online, and I'll leave the links down below in the description. We're going to start with the panel insert accordion card blank. As you know, I always like to cut out all the pieces, put them in front of me, maybe practice fit them together. And for all these, you're going to need some adhesive and a bone folder, and that's about it. I like a nice strong adhesive to attach accordion strips together because you sure don't want those coming apart. Let's start by folding up the accordion strips, and you can see the perforated score lines if I hold that up and wave it around. And we're just going to go through this, and I speeded up the video. And we're going to go through it, and we're going to accordion fold along those perforated score lines. And make sure you burnish them down, because if you don't burnish them down, your accordion will want to pop open all the time. And we don't always want that to happen. And repeat it with the second piece. We want to join these two strips together by overlapping panels of the accordions. And there we have it. Now we want to put these two together, but oh dear, we didn't do a very smart job of folding these because we're creating a peak instead of an overlap. But there's an easy solution. So that's a really good teachable moment. Just go ahead and reverse all the folds, and then what you can have is two overlapping panels in the accordion, and that's what we want for this card. So we're going to apply some good strong adhesive along one of the panels. Burnish it down, helps the release paper come off more easily. And then very carefully get it in good light, get right over the top of it, and put those two strips together. And make sure the sides match and the end piece comes up to the fold on the other piece. And now you have the basic accordion ready to go. The next step is to add these panels. And this is a great type of accordion if you like doing your artwork separate from the book or card. And that gives you a lot of panel options to play with before you commit. So I chose this subtly beautiful cardstock to be my decorative panels. And I just put adhesive on the back of the top layer and adhered it to the bottom panel. And now it's time to add it to the accordion. And we're going to do that along one side of the peaks, the mountains. Because after all, accordions are mountain, valley, mountain, valley. And this is how these panels sit. The adhesive goes on the accordion fold, not on the back of the panel. And that's what it's going to look like. And you put a second one on. And the nice thing about this is you can actually fold it flat to put on your adhesive, because you can always accordion fold it again. And this is all I did. 2 strips of adhesive, and push that panel right down into the valley and make sure that the top and the bottom match the accordion strip. And that's what it's starting to look like. Just one more panel to add, and there we have it. Beauty! Now you can go ahead and letter on these panels, stamp, paint, whatever your heart desires. Now, you might find your accordions a bit springy, and that depends on a few different things, like the weight of the cardstock you use and whether you're folding with the grain of the paper. And you can't always control all those things. So here I'm adding a belly band to keep it a bit more under control, and you'll have seen this in the basic accordion card blanks video. And you're just going to loosely wrap it around, not too tight, and then I'm going to mark where the belly band comes to and what the overlap is, and I'm going to apply adhesive to that overlap. Just like that. Burnish it down to make it easier to remove the release paper. And fold it together, coming right up to that pencil line. And then you'll notice the thing about the belly band is that it's wider on one side and pointier on the other. And that's because the side that has all the folds is going to be thicker. Oh, now darn, that's classy. And I wanted to show you the other panel insert accordion blank that I made because I think it's really pretty with the black and kind of a peachy color. So that is the panel insert accordion blank. Next, we're going to look at the stepped fold accordion card blank, and this can be just stunning. I like to play around with different decorative papers to see what happens. Now here it is all folded up. You take the belly band off, and you can see how each step is a little bit bigger than the previous one. And that's what it looks like pulled out. Now the hardest part of this card is deciding what decorative paper to use. And you'll see that each of these strips is a different width. And the great thing about this being a digital file is that you don't have to measure anything. I did use 6x6 decorative paper, and I found it wasn't quite long enough for the belly band decorative strip. So I cut 2 of those strips, and I'll piece those together later. Now let's go ahead and fold these accordion strips along the perforated score lines. There's one strip all folded, and now I'll do the other. And again, we're going to attach these strips by overlapping panels on the accordion fold. And again, I have to reverse the fold, but that's okay, that's easy. And that's how it'll go together, just like that. Now let's add some adhesive, and we'll get going. Carefully overlap these panels. Make sure they match at the top and the bottom, and that the one end fits into the valley of the other strip. And there we have it. Okay, now we bring in the decorative panels. And just like we did on the panel insert accordion card blank, we're adding the decorative paper to the one side of the mountain fold. And now we'll fold it up like this. Oh, that's starting to look really good. It's kind of springy though, which is great when you want to display it, but maybe not if you're going to mail it. So we're going to do a belly band, and like I mentioned before, my paper wasn't quite long enough, so I'm just going to butt another piece right up to it and adhere them both down to the base belly band. And then to make the belly band fit, I'm just going to repeat the process that I did with the panel insert accordion. And there it is, all done. That's beautiful. And here's the other one that I did in completely different colors. You can have so much fun with these cards. I'd love to see what you do with them. Now we're going to change over and do something completely different. And you know what? It's actually a lot easier to make than you would think. This is the diamond fold accordion card blank. I've already cut all the pieces, but I made one so you could see what it's going to do ultimately. It folds together like that, and it pops out like that. How cool is that? With a special message right in the middle? Cool. If you use light-colored cardstock, it's easier to see where those perforated score lines are. So let's start with both ends, and it's very simple. Just fold them in. Now we're going to do one of the diagonals, and it goes from the top to the bottom, just like that, and then burnish it down, just like that. And the perforated score line is already there, so it's easy, easy, easy. And you're going to do the other side just the same way. Now the next step, there's perforated score lines diagonally going the other way. So you're kind of going to make an X with the previous score line, just like that. And you're going to do it on the other side, just like that. One last set of folds. They're right in the middle of the X's that we just made. Let's fold these back. And the same on the other side. Now let's push down in the middle of the X, right there, and allow the folds to come together. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. And there it goes together. That's it. That's the whole set of folds. Not so hard, huh? If you're a bit confused, just stop the video and go back over the spot that is confusing you. And that's what it looks like on the back. And you can flip it over and burnish down any folds that you have, and it will make it lie flat. But I did give you a belly band, so there's always that to look forward to. I think you know how to do that by now. I've also given you all the pieces cut to size to go onto each of those little panels. So let's start piecing those into place. It's a little bit like a puzzle, but if you do the middle panel and the end panels first, then the other things will start falling into place. You can stop adding panels at any time if you think you've got enough. Once you have the decorative panels on, it's probably a good idea to give everything another burnish, just to make sure it folds in the right direction. And then the last step is to add the belly band. And I think you know how to do that by now. And now it's all ready to be opened by someone special. Wow, that's going to be so much fun when they get it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Diamond Fold Accordion Card Blank. Have fun! And now we're going to move on to the boxed accordion card blank. Now this is pretty straightforward, so you won't have too much trouble with it. There's just a few tricks. So I've laid out all my pieces and checked to make sure that they're there. And then I'm going to go ahead and accordion fold all the accordion strips. And this one's a tabbed one. We're not going to overlap a whole panel. We're going to use a tab for this one. And there we go. And we're going to attach those as we have been. And now we're going to jump right into adding the decorative panels. And there's not much contrast here. It's a really nice pale yellow, and it would be great for decorating. Now, I haven't given you a decorative panel for that first panel because it's going to be up in the lid, but if you want to cut one for there, you can certainly go ahead. Now we're going to fold up the box base. It's a little hard to see the perforated score lines on such a dark and distressed paper, but it's gorgeous. I couldn't help myself. So you're going to find all those perforated score lines and you're going to fold them up, just like you would any box base. Applied some pretty strong adhesive to that tab and push the sides together. And you'll repeat that for the other 3 corners. And at this point, I know you're dying to try it. Let's see how your accordion fits inside the base of the box. Lovely, and pulls right out. Okay, let's do the same thing with the top. Assemble it just like you did the base. Add the adhesive to the tabs. And repeat all the way around. Layer the little decoration for the top. You don't have to add it if you don't want. If you have something else you want to put on there, that's great. And there's the lid all finished. Okay, now it's time to put everything together. We want to adhere one end of the accordion inside the box lid. So we're going to need to put some adhesive on that accordion panel. What I ultimately did, and I really like, is that I reversed the accordion so it's like this, and then I added the adhesive right where you see it. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to center it right inside the lid and then press it down, and it should be perfectly centered, as perfect as you can get it. Now let's test it out. Yay, beautiful. You can see where you might want a decorative panel on that accordion panel up inside the lid of the box. You could even add another accordion strip at the end of this. And there you have it, the boxed accordion card blank. Our last card in this set is the really fun interlocking accordion card blank. And this is what it looks like. Very cool. Okay, let's make this. This is what it looks like closed, and then it opens up into this spectacular card. Need a birthday card? Choose your decorative paper to match your theme and have some fun. So lay out your pieces after they're cut so you know where they go and whether they fit together. And of course they do, because I've done all the measuring for you. And I've made this card and I know it works. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is create that accordion fold. And because we're restricted by 12 by 12 paper, we have to make a tabbed extension. And that's this piece right here. So it's got a tab on it, and you need to fold that over. And we're going to attach it just like that. Now, because I want this side of the paper to be the front, I actually have to reverse my folds because I need a mountain peak right in the center of the card. So there, that's better. That's how we want it. So we've got it all glued together, and that's what the other side looks like. It's really nice to have duplex paper. That means it's printed on both sides, just because no matter which way you look at the card, it's wonderful. So our first step now is going to be to add these decorative onlay panels. And I've given you an extra one for the front of the card, which you can use or not use, depending on what you'd like. So attach those with adhesive. And here's where we are to this point. And that's what it looks like on the other side and from the top. Now we're going to work with the smaller interlocking accordion. So we're going to fold up all those accordion folds on the strips, and they too are assembled with a tab. Watch out for some decorated paper because it's really hard to spot the perforated score lines. You need those folds to be pretty precise. I'm putting the card I've already made here above the one I'm assembling right now, just so you can see how things will go. And you can see I need a valley in the small accordion that will coincide with where the mountain is in the large accordion. Okay, let's not strain our brain right now. Let's go ahead and add the decorative panels to the small accordion and attach the two strips together. There we go. And we have that valley in the middle. And here's how these two accordions relate to each other. And you can flatten the whole card right out. It's not a perfect flat for that smaller accordion. Now let's put it together. But first, a little tip. Here's the big accordion with its window. Now let me talk a little bit about that window. All the edges of that window should line up beautifully to make a perfect window. When you look at one side, you shouldn't be able to see any of the other window. And if you do, go in and reform those perforated score lines so that everything does line up. It needs to be really precise, and I'll show you why. Because we're going to put the little accordion right inside that window. It will have to be able to move freely inside that big window. Now, I'm a pretty cautious crafter with adhesive, so I'm just going to put a little strip of adhesive along that edge before I position the small accordion inside the window. This adhesive will hold the small accordion on the back panel of the big accordion. There's not a lot of leeway side to side for placing this small accordion, but there is up and down. So try and center that little accordion inside the window vertically. Or is that horizontally? It's looking good so far. Now let's apply some adhesive to the panel that will attach to the front of the big accordion. And again, I'm being my cautious self and only putting one small strip on here. We can go back later and add more adhesive. Then the next step is just to close the card and it will be perfectly positioned. And let's open it up. Oh, look, perfection. I shouldn't sound surprised. I know this works. So now you can go back in under the first and the last panel of the small accordion and adhere those down a bit more securely. And there you have it. How are you going to decorate yours? And we're done. I hope you've enjoyed making these little cards. I had fun making them, and they are so versatile because they're blank. You can customize them any way you want. So if you've liked this project, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my newsletter. I'm creating new content almost weekly. So until then, happy creating, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.